We have the top two teams in the Mid-American Conference as the Bowling Green Falcons paying the Central Michigan Chippewas a visit inside McGurk Arena. I'm Riley Edwards with Eli Tout here on ESPN Plus, and we should have a great matchup tonight between two great teams. Bowling Green coming off a slim win against Buffalo, and Central Michigan, on the other hand, beating the rival for the 5th straight time. It's a Friday night, and it's a perfect night for some Mid-American Conference wrestling here inside McGurk Arena. The Central Michigan Chippewas host the Buffalo Bulls right here on ESPN Plus. I'm Riley Edwards alongside Brendan Lyon, and the titles of these two teams so far this season has been their youth, and we should see some more of that tonight. We have two MAC West teams trying to improve their record nearing the end of the regular season. The Central Michigan Chippewas host the Toledo Rockets tonight on ESPN Plus. Inside McGurk Arena, I'm Riley Edwards alongside Eric Vanda Pfeiffer, and we should have a good game on our hands tonight. Two of the top teams in the MAC in terms of offense, especially when it comes to conference play. Central Michigan adding nearly 75 points per game, and Toledo adding 71. Central Michigan controls the ball first. As there's Kevin McKay, who helped lead those Chippewas to a win with his 16th double-double on the season.
And they're just happy to have him back in that lineup.
Dallas Morgan gets us started offensively, and the last time, Eli, you talked to Coach Keno Davis, he referred to Dallas Morgan as instant offense.
And that's exactly what he is. Whether they've used him off the bench this year, back in that starting lineup like he is today, Dallas Morgan has been someone they can lean on in that offensive side.
So here comes the Bowling Green offense. And the first shot will be no good from Tyler Matos.
And this is another thing they've missed from Kevin McKay. He gets that defensive board and pushes the ball with pace, and it creates shots like that.
And Rob Montgomery really opening up his shot selection this season, shooting from outside quite a bit more. He's shooting it at nearly 30% this season. So a 5-0 start for Central Michigan against one of the toughest teams in the Mid-American Conference. And now they're trying to lock up on defense.
And a reason why these Falcons are so tough, they're used to coming back from being down. In that Buffalo game, double-digit deficit at halftime as they turn it over. So this is a Bowling Green team that's been tested when they've been down.
And that was a walk by Justin Turner. He leads his team in points per game with just over 18, one of their most reliable offensive options for the Falcons. There you can see your Central Michigan starting five, including Kevin McKay, who had that double-double, and also David DeLeo, who's nearing that record for 3 points in a career for Central Michigan, just 7 off from owning it, as Rob Montgomery walks on the other end. And there's Bowling Green, and we mentioned David DeLeo with the threes. Well, Dylan Fry already the career leader for Bowling Green.
And Dylan Fry, I'm sure you guys see it today, he's absolutely lethal from behind the three-point line, and almost in the way Dallas Morgan is. He shoots those attempts that really aren't good shots if you're anybody else.
And here is Dylan Fry, trying to find the open man. And a nice move down low, but it won't go down for Caleb Fields. Central Michigan trying to run, but there's the defense. Dylan Fry with the oop and the flush. The first points of the night for Bowling Green come a bit fancy.
And he knew where his 6'6" teammate DeQuan Plowden exactly was. That's what makes Fry so dangerous. Always has those eyes up looking for open teammates.
Dallas Morgan from outside, and he's got it. Dallas Morgan started this season mostly coming off the bench, but his points have been much needed for Central Michigan.
CMU starting 2 for 2 from the three-point line. That's a nightmare if you're the Falcons.
Turner tries to get it back on the other end, no good. And a loose ball foul on Bowling Green, and that one will go on Tyler Matos. So Central Michigan getting off to an 8-2 run. Trying to defend their home court again, just like they have all season. 10-1 record at home. That equals the best of the Mid-American Conference. Dallas Morgan from outside again, and he's got it. When Dallas Morgan hits from the field, he's on.
He was just 1 for 5 from 3 against Western Michigan. Kind of a quiet day, and it looks like he's itching to get back out here as he's already, like you said, 2 for 2. Bowling Green's going to want to keep their eye on him. Give him no space from there.
And Turner Tries to step through down low. It's no good. And another foul underneath the basket. And they will get Rob Montgomery with this foul. The first for Montgomery and the first for Central Michigan tonight. Now let's take a look at keys to the game with Eli by Qdoba.
And Riley, looking at that first one for Central Michigan, co-own the paint. And the reason I didn't put just solely own the paint is because that's going to be a hard task for Central Michigan. Bowling Green, 4 guys over 6'9". That's the tallest player for Central. And also, they're going to have to bury that backcourt of Bowling Green. Turner and Fry, 2 guys that are absolutely lethal. And then for Bowling Green, keep McKay quiet. He's been phenomenal ever since he's come back from injury. And also, taking care of that basketball is going to be very important. As we know, CMU is a team that loves to try and turn their opponents over.
That was Daquan Plowden at the free throw line. He leads his team in percentage at 90%. Step back 3 from Dallas Morgan. Nearly gets the friendly bounce. Romello Burrell tries to save it, but it's no good. It goes back to the Falcons.
And I really like the hustle from Romello Burrell. That's what Central Michigan's going to need. This Bowling Green team leads the MAC in defensive rebounds per game. And what that means is they don't give their opponents a lot of second chance opportunities. And we'll see if CMU can try to change that.
Down low, Matos gets it in, uses the turnaround, creates some space. Here comes Central Michigan again, trying to push the tempo early in this game. Deshaun Winston with the bounce pass, and McKay with the finish. Winston played a lot of meaningful minutes in that game against Western Michigan. Devontae Lane went down. They were precautious, but he's back in the starting lineup tonight.
And he's been playing phenomenal for the Chippewas. They have him down on that stat sheet. No turnovers since January 11th against Kent State. Winston has been a phenomenal guard.
Kevin McKay setting up the offense. He split the defense and draws the foul. And they'll tag Justin Turner with this one. Correction, Tyler Matos. It's already foul number 2 for Matos, but a 13-5 start for Central Michigan as we've reached our first media timeout.
We enter a scoreless bottom of the 4th inning as John Rooney got into trouble and out of trouble in the top half. It's all up to Joey Cantillo for the Tin Caps to hold this middle of the lineup quiet. Dylan Paulson, Jacob Amaya, and Hunter Fiducia all 2 up in this inning for the Loons. Cantillo has looked flawless so far. Only just 1 single in the 2nd inning, but plenty of strikeouts, 7 of them to this point in just the first 3 innings. The first 4 batters in this game consecutively went down on that strikeout. Led up a single to Chris Roller, then got right back to the strikeout. And he ended the bottom of the 3rd on back-to-back strikeouts, 6 and 7. And now it will be a lefty-on-lefty matchup between himself and Dylan Paulson. Paulson was strikeout victim number 2 this game as he sits in the 2 spot for John Shoemaker in this Loons lineup. Cantillo set from the stretch. Tan glove by his chest, he comes home. Fastball in the dirt at 84, 1 ball and no strikes. Cantillo was 16th round draft pick in the 2017 draft by the Padres. 1-0 in the zone. Fastball at the chest, 1 ball and 1 strike. Blake mentioned earlier how he's still one of the youngest pitchers in the Midwest League. Well, when he was drafted, he was only 17 years and 6 months old. The 1-1. Fastball too low. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. He had originally committed to play baseball at the University of Kentucky. He wanted to go to a bigger school, but also had his eyes set on pitching in the SEC. But the draft came around, the Padres took him and decided to go and play professional baseball, as looks like one of the fans may have dropped a ball onto the field in right center. Augustine Ruiz trotted over, picked it up on the warning track, and tossed it right back. 2 balls, 1 strike, no outs. Bottom of the 4th, and still no score between the Tin Caps and the Loons. Cantillo set. From the stretch, comes home. A check swing, and it's in the zone. Evens up the count at 2-2. Paulson, an all-star for the Loons. Got up to bat just once in that game. Struck out. The 2-2. And he chases one in the dirt. Picked up by Blake Hunt. He tags Paulson, and that is out number 1. 3rd consecutive strikeout. Also the 8th on the night for Cantillo. Out number 1 in the bottom of the 4th inning, and Jacob Amaya is due up. Struck out looking in his first at-bat.
I think this is some of the best swing and miss stuff we have seen by any opposing pitcher with Cantillo. I mean, untouchable. 8 strikeouts so far in 4 innings, or 3 1/3. It's ridiculous.
First pitch to Amaya. Fastball misses low and inside. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the 4th. Still no score between the Loons and the Tin Caps. And Blake, I'd have to agree with you, and this isn't something that he just turned on once he was drafted. He had an amazing high school career. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Off speed. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Specifically his senior season, though. Had a 1.24 ERA in 45 2/3 innings pitched and 71 strikeouts. The 1-1. Misses up high. 2 balls and 1 strike. And you can draw comparisons to what he had done in this season coming into tonight. 49 innings, a 2.20 ERA, 63 strikeouts. Really just much of the same from what he did in high school. The 2-1. Chopped high, bouncing ball to second base on a short hop. Edwards gloves and spits it out to first for out number 2. It wasn't just on the mound where he excelled, though. At the plate as well. Played first base, as typically a lot of lefties do throughout Little League, Pony League, high school, whatever level they're at. Lefties have usually at one point or another played first base. But at the plate, he hit .534 in his senior season with 2 home runs and 23 RBI. First pitch misses inside to Hunter Fiducia. It's 1 ball and no strikes. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th, and still no score between Fort Wayne and Great Lakes. Fiducia hitting .263 on the season. He's in a lefty-lefty matchup. 1-0, fastball at 84, misses inside again. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Cantillo set. The 2-0. Misses low and inside. 3 balls and no strikes to Hunter Fiducia. Saloon's team has really had a headline of walks this season. They've not walked once in this game. They had 1 base runner reach. That was a single in the second inning by Chris Roller. .30. Fastball does find the zone. It's 3 balls and 1 strike.
Also, there hasn't been a flyout yet for the Loons. Nothing hit hard or out of the infield yet.
It's really been a whiff or a slow ground ball. 3-1, and there's a swing and a miss. Fills it up, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Loons coming into this game have walked 340 times as an offensive unit. It's a full count to Fiducia. Payoff pitch. On the ground, 1 bounce right to the chest of Edwards at second. He throws to first, where Solomon gathers and secures it for out number 3. That ends the 4th inning. Another scoreless frame for both teams. We head to the top of the 5th. No score between the Tin Caps and the Loons right here on ESPN 100.9 FM.
Welcome back as we prepare for Central Michigan and San Diego State in the New Mexico Bowl here in the Countdown to Kickoff pregame show. I'm Riley Edwards, now joined by running backs coach Cornell Jackson. Headline of this entire season has really been this team's turnaround, but also your running back group. Almost 1,000 more yards than last year, 4 times as many touchdowns. Really, what's been the biggest difference for them?
Well, I tell you what, those guys grew up over the year. We brought a system in that, hey, that they were going to excel in. They bought into the program, and I tell you what, they've done an outstanding job for us.
And a lot of outsiders didn't think they'd see Central Michigan in a MAC championship game. You made it there, fell a little short, but grounded out 121 yards. Really, what do guys like Jonathan Ward and Kobe Lewis have to learn from that game?
The outside, the only people in the locker room were us, players and the coaches. And the thing about it, any game, of course you go to every game, wanting to win and hoping to win, prepare to win. And we fell short of that, but the good thing, we get another opportunity to play. And it's an honor going to the New Mexico Bowl, and the guys are really excited about that.
And one of those guys I just mentioned, Jonathan Ward, he's dealt with some injuries in his career, especially coming into this year. But for a guy like him to show grit and come show out for this team, what does that mean to a team like Central?
Jonathan Ward's a senior. He's been in the program a long time, and being a Chippewa means something to him. So he knows this is his last opportunity here, and he embraced it. And he's done a nice job for us this year. But, he'll always be a Chippewa, so he'll be able to bring his kids back here and show them what he's done. But I tell you what, he really takes pride in this university.
And a guy who takes pride, who stuck around and fought through some injuries, but it also gave a guy like Kobe Lewis some opportunities. Was that something you really expected to come out of Kobe Lewis?
Well, I knew Kobe was a talented athlete. We saw him in the spring. We knew what he could do. But, sometimes, your backups are ready to go. And he got his opportunity, and he was waiting, and he took full advantage of it, which that's what we expected.
And we're talking to running backs coach Cornell Jackson. You mentioned it already at the MAC championship game. Now you have another opportunity to play in the New Mexico Bowl, which is somewhat of a homecoming for you, somewhere where you're comfortable. What does that feel like?
Well, the thing about Albuquerque, we have a home there, and I've lived there for 3 years. I love the people there. I love the culture. I love the mountains. So I'm looking forward to going back and, of course, playing in the game and seeing old friends. I played in the very first. I coached in the very first New Mexico Bowl, 06, I think. Yeah.
What was that experience like?
Well, I tell you what, it was exciting. I was part of Coach Long's staff when I was at the University of New Mexico, and it was really exciting to play in the very first one.
And you just mentioned
Excuse me. I keep saying playing. I coached.
And you just mentioned Rocky Long. That's another connection you have in this bowl game. What is it like preparing to coach against someone that you were on a staff with?
Well, I tell you what, I respect Rocky. Rocky gave me a job, when I didn't have a job. And I he's done a nice job there. I believe they're going to 10 straight bowl games. The kids there are passionate, and I know what kind of coach Rocky is. And Rocky had those young men prepared.
And you trying to get your running backs prepared. This is a great defense that San Diego State puts onto the field. Rocky Long's known for his defense. How do you really just get past it?
Well, you got to face it, because they're going to put the ball down and we got to play. The thing you just tell the guys, hey, just be patient, do what you do. Don't try to do the Superman thing. Just stay with your blockers and perform. They know how to do it.
And you mentioned you kind of know the area, and you've already coached in a New Mexico Bowl. If anybody's listening, is there any places that they should go visit?
Well, I tell you what, if it's sunny, just step outside and just watch the sunset. Visit that. It's unbelievable.
All right, thank you for your time, Coach. We'll be back with more coverage on CMU and San Diego State right here on the Countdown to Kickoff pregame show on Learfield IMG, presented by Fabiano Brothers, proud distributors of Bud and Bud Light.